Today, this is going back into this, along with this, and this. Now we are waiting on a few parts to show up before we can put the engine and transmission back in the car, primarily the clutch. So in the meantime, let's go ahead and make this car a little bit nicer for you guys. We need to get everything cleaned up, and I need to take care of this crusty, rusty exhaust manifold. Let's pull this thing off and take care of this first with some sandblast and a little bit of Cerakote. Manifold is sandblasted and ready for some Cerakote. We only have two high temp Cerakotes here. We have 138, which is jet black, and 148, which is burnt bronze. I think for this car, I'm gonna go with black on the manifold. So we already did the gas out phase, sandblasting. I'm gonna blow this thing off with compressed air, do one final cleaning with wax and grease remover, and then we can get it coated. This now needs to cure for 24 hours before we can install it, and 5 days until we can run it. That's a long time to wait. I don't see a reason to disassemble the motor whatsoever. It's a very, very, very low mileage, completely built motor from Buescher Racing, but I do see a reason to clean it all up. We need to go ahead and plug off a ton of stuff, all of the ports, intake and exhaust, power steering, AC compressor, get it degreased and pressure washed, and we need to figure out also what color we're going to do on the valve cover. You can see they just painted over the factory red. I might go back to factory red. Haven't decided yet, but I think factory red on this and the brakes would look fantastic on the electric blue. We may as well give the transmission the same kind of love. Transmission is cleaned, but we do have one problem I would like to take care of before this thing goes back together, and that is a broken off bell housing bolt. As you can see by the rust, it's probably been broken for quite a while. I would like to get that out of there. Now there are, 7 other bell housing bolts. So if we can't get it out, not the biggest deal in the world, but I would like to get that thing extracted. So I wasn't able to get the bolt out, but what I was able to do is drill it out and install a helicoil, which is stronger than the factory aluminum threads. So that is now good to go. Up next, motor mount, transmission mount. I like to powder coat everything that I see. Unfortunately, these have the rubber bushings installed. So we can't really powder coat these. I'm gonna go ahead and sandblast them and use the only paint that I'm willing to use. Both of our crusty mounts are now brand new looking. Guys, if you need to rattle can paint anything, go with the SEM color coat. I prefer satin black for stuff like this. As you can see, they look brand new. OEM, mint. Look what just showed up. The clutch of choice for the Evo 9 is the Mod Twin from ACT. This is the sprung street clutch, and somehow it still holds 700 foot-pounds of torque. If this thing makes 700 foot-pounds, I'm canceling the giveaway and keeping it forever. So here is the hydraulic bearing that we pulled off. This thing is crusty, all seized up. I'm sure it would have felt nice if it wasn't seized. But let's go back to the OEM setup. Pretty much anything that's clutch, flywheel related, I like to Loctite. A lot of vibrations. And the last thing I want is bolts backing out and flying around the clutch. When you buy a new ACT clutch, they include the grease. This is 2800 degree clutch lubricant. Most importantly, lube up where the throwout bearing slides. And I put just a tiny bit on the splines so it can slide through the clutch. Also, dab a bit here. And lastly, on this pin that goes through the fork. Let's hope this will slide on to the engine through the clutch just fine. Sometimes it's a little bit sticky, sometimes it goes right through. Man, that was too easy. Before we make more progress, let's make sure the throwout bearing clips in just fine to the clutch and stays clipped in. All right, we're good to go. This guy is ready for this guy. All right, so the reverse of how we removed it we're gonna put the motor and trans underneath the car and lower the car down, then pick up the motor and trans and bolt it up. Bam, 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 she is back in the car. Now before we do the transfer case and the subframe, we're gonna go ahead and do all the wiring. It's super nice to do all the wiring now because we have complete and total access to the bottom of the intake manifold where a lot of the wiring goes. All right, I'm gonna stop right here. You know it's a good time to quit when you're about to do some stuff that you know isn't right. This harness needs a lot of love. This coil connector is spliced in. I don't love it. It's all exposed. It's nasty. I need to clean all this up. I need to fix all this up. I was about to just install it as is. I know that's not the right thing to do. So let's go ahead and call that a night right here. Good progress. Power plant is in. Tomorrow undoubtedly will be the first, it's not really a first start, but the restart of the Evo IX. So being that one of you guys is going to be winning this car on Instagram, I've been doing a lot of polls. So if you're not tuning in on Instagram, make sure you do so. But the latest debate is what we are doing with the body of the car. So this thing has a super rare body kit, the front bumper, the side skirts, and the rear bumper. And while I like it, I don't love it. I personally like the OEM 9 parts more. But some people think that being that it's such a rare kit, we should leave it on the car. So it's called the INGS kit. If you guys can even hear what I'm trying to pronounce, freaking voice is still gone, but INGS, I-N-G-S. That's how the side and rear look. And then if we come over to our storage unit, this is how the front bumper looks. So go on Instagram and let me know, do you guys want OEM bumpers and skirts back on? Which of course we would 100% do the JDM rear bumper, which I hope the Busher exhaust works with, or should we keep this kit on? It's an authentic, old school, matches the era of the car kit. Go and let me know. And if you haven't gotten a chance to get entered in to win this car, first link down below, every $3 you spend is one entry to win All Girl.